Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna be showing you how to play on the Fiddle Diddle. You're gonna want to tell your teammates no leash, just keep watch is the first thing, because the leash doesn't actually help you, doesn't speed you up or necessarily make you any healthier. Start W. For your runes, take Predator or Electrocute with Cheap Shot, Eyeballs, Ultimate Hunter, Perfect Timing, Cosmic, Double AP, and Armor. With this build, we're gonna be able to cheese down our first item before anyone else in the game, because Perfect Timing is 650 gold value, extremely powerful. On top of that, we don't start with refill, so we're essentially saving out on, 900 gold. On top of that, Zhonya's is already only 2,600 compared to 3,200, which is a 600 gold difference with the normal mythics you would build. So 600 gold difference, plus we already have 900 free gold. 900 plus 600, we essentially have 1,500 free gold to get our first item and do all that fun stuff. I think they're starting in my jungle, so I'll just start over here. You can start on red and wraps just fine. Main thing on Fiddlesticks is you want to hit level 4 as fast as possible, and then you can start winning the game. You want to make sure you don't reset the red buff. Even if you accidentally reset the raptors, it doesn't matter, because they die way before the red buff will, since the red buff has way more HP. So even if you reset them, it won't really change anything. Just change your positioning and then press S. And then you'll find the right spots where neither one of their patients ticks down. If you're not comfortable with this, it is super important. I'd recommend practicing it in training tool a couple times a day. Just spend 10-15 minutes. It really does make a big difference. Your drain does more damage or lower on health something is. Ideally, you want to smite first if possible, if you can do that safely without someone coming up and trying to steal it. We don't want to gank for Garen early. Garen and Shen is a bad matchup. You want to gank for laners who can comfortably follow up off of your CC. So ganking for things like Vladimir early, Garen's, things like that, it's not that good. I'm not sure if they started in my jungle or not. We're going to YOLO it, go double points and drain. Even if they did, we can end up invading or simply reset. Getting a point in your fear doesn't help your clear that much. It's pretty tricky to take your wolves and blue buff at the same time. Just try not to reset your wolves. It's usually on the last drain, you'll bring it over. You pull the blue over with your E. And we can try to hit them both with our E here. I like how they didn't actually steal anything from us. And it looks like we're going to do a pre-315 clear on Fiddlesticks. You do end up clearing a little bit faster off of starting red side than blue side, because you can take blue ground super efficiently. And remember, the power of Fiddlesticks truly does come from his level 4, his level 6, and his Lucidity Boots Zhonya Rush. Lucidities are super cheap, and our Zhonya's is cheap, plus we get our Zhonya's for 650 cheaper. There's a lot of cheesiness and built-in advantage into this build. That was an awkward gank. I couldn't really find what I was looking for. Looks like Vi probably full cleared. She might have left Krugs or Raptors though. We'll look for that. It just wasn't gankable. I shouldn't have showed with how ungankable it was. Lets the enemies know where you are on the map. At least ping 3 times when you go in for a gank. We're gonna fear into E. It's decent. He got absolutely chunked. We kind of need to shove this because Seraphine's out of mana. To where if we can reset this wave, then Seraphine can start playing the game again. Plus, we're getting to soak a lot of XP. Since she's out of mana, she literally can't even push this. She's going to be trapped in lane with 0 mana. He's dead. Vilkos trolled there a little bit. He's being greedy. He's thinking, oh, Seraphine's out of mana, Fiddle low damage champ. Fiddle with Electrocute isn't really low damage per se. He's just not high damage. Vi's going mid. She hasn't backed yet either. We're both sitting on basically no items. Your jungle item doesn't actually help you in fights against champions, other than the fact that it gives you a bunch of mana regen back per second whenever you are in jungle or river. Jungle areas are quite extensive. For example, if you're in this bush, it counts as the jungle. Most of the map really counts as the jungle according to your mana regen. I should unmute my Garen. We're about to give him a big old gank. He's pretty low. Is he about to hit 6? If he is, then we can do this. Looks like he's ready for it. Since he pinged it, we know he's already paying attention. We probably don't need to ping too much, at least. Normally I like to triple ping on a gank, but since he was already aware. The fiddle tether is actually really big. Once your drain starts, it has way more range than where it starts at. He needs to thin it. We can gank mid or gank top here. We still have our control ward. Once you're level 6, your effigies are basically control wards. They scan that spot. Oh, this guy's dead. I don't even know if I need to R. Oh, I accidentally showed. I don't know if he saw me though. That was bad. Stepped out of the bush there. Alright, here it is. You get him with the silence. Your standard combo when you go in is going to be R, Q, E, W, or R. Yeah, it really should be R, Q. R, Q, E, W. I eat first, which is a mistake. Your fear and your silence don't really stack, so you want to silence as your fear is about to end. So R, Q for the damage, and fear, and then EW. See how we spread out our CC? We have this guy cut off kind of hard here. Garen blew his flash for that. That's not great. Or he blew his ghost, I should say. Who's gonna miss that minion? He's gonna miss that one too. I think we can do this. Their jungler's bot. I'm tanking the turret, so we're fine. We also have perfect timing. We can survive there. You get it very, very early if you're getting successful ganks off. It puts it on a 2-minute lower cooldown. We're sitting on a lot of gold. First item back. You're normally looking for Lucids and a Dark Seal. In this case, we have so much gold that we can go straight for Zhonya's. We're a full item 7 minutes into the game. With that being said, since we already had stopwatch, it would have been perfectly fine for us to go Lucids, a Dark Seal, and as much of our Zhonya's as we can afford, because if you use your stopwatch and then you buy Zhonya's, it resets the cooldown immediately, which is nice. If your teammates are going to take your camps on Fiddle, they shouldn't be doing it before you're level 6, because your level 6 is super important, and your R gets on a very low cooldown from our Ultimate Hunter and our build. So in this case, Garen wants red. I'll let him have red and the Raptors. He doesn't really have minions to go to right now since Shen's wave's pushing to him, so it'd be pointless for him to be there. So by him going to my camps, it's kind of optimal, only since I already have my R though. Otherwise, this would be absolutely crippling me. He's going a weird way. That's a big wave. Now, since we don't have camps topside now, because of the Garen, we're better off ganking mid or bot, so we're not pathing through dead space. Because we have the opportunity to take some of our enemy jungler's jungle or a scuttle. This guy doesn't even have barrier. Gonna hit him with the EW, blue smite, and then we walk out. We still have our Zhonya's as well. Got the Shen R down. Missing a lot of HP. We could heal off of the Krugs. Could have stayed for plates, but I'm missing HP. I don't want to die to a potential buy. Shouldn't start Herald with this low of HP. Vi could be on there as well. You want to max Q second, E last. Your E doesn't get a longer silence per level, but your Q gets a longer fear per level. Your fear also does current percent based damage, which is essentially max health damage. Very spicy. Garen's healthy. I don't think Vi would try to rush him down since he's fed and has red buff. So this isn't really a counter gank. Instead, we should probably start Herald. Silencer out of that. She can't fight us. She took a lot of damage there. Garen couldn't quite pinch. I don't have R. They'll cause bot side. This is a great time to do Herald. If you get your drain canceled on Fiddle because they hard CC you with something besides a snare, because snares don't cancel your drain or your R, then it goes on full cooldown, which is really bad for you. If you finish your drain, or if they walk out of it, it goes on a 60% short cooldown, which is basically no cooldown at all. It's really nice. Herald's not the easiest thing to take on Fiddle since you have to stand still for drain. It's still very doable though. It's easier to take Herald than Dragons realistically, as long as you're hitting it in the back. Vel'Koz is going to be coming up to mid as he spawns in here. I have my R, we'll gank. Their jungler's bot side, your wolves aren't up. We'll go ahead and leave our control word here. You can lay your control word at the start of the game. I didn't though, because they were in my jungle. You normally lay an FG on one side, control word on the other. I don't know why Seraphine would roam right now. That's a terrible roam. I don't think Shen has R though. She shouldn't roam because Vel'Koz spawn in is going to be coming mid, and I'm already here, so. Got him with the blue smite and the QE. That was that was an ugly situation for sure. We didn't need a Zonies. I just didn't want to take a huge chunk of damage. Probably would have been better to take it though. We can heal it off of a camp, so that was an overreaction on my part. This is first turret gold. We should push this in. Get another big hit off. Very nice. And we could look for the Shen dive. Garen's low HP, so I'm assuming Shen's low as well. If Shen decides to stay, he'll die for it. Big Herald hit. Awesome. If you can get 2 hits off the Herald, it's ideal. You usually want to lay your first one pre-14-minute mark to get plates. And you want the turret to be 2 plate and a sliver. If it's any more than that, it won't one-shot it. So this is about perfect what that's at. R's down for a bit, not the end of the world. We still want to get our Lucids and Darksil, then we'll push for our Rocket Belt. If you hate activatable items, then go for a Leandri's or a Night Harvester instead. You can even go for Riftmaker. I'm not a fan of it though. Riftmaker doesn't feel that good to me. If I had Zhonya's here, we could tank this super hard. We don't have the minions for this, so there's no reason to force it and die. There's 3 of them bot side. We would take Herald if it was up right now. Since it's not, we're not going to. We'll chill. This is an easy kill. It might be warded how safe he's playing. That's fine. They're going to get Dragon for free here. I'll reset. I can't get there in time. I don't think I can solo Shen on my own either. He has 2 HP item, D-Shield, Ruby. We'll look for the Lucids, the D-Sil, and as much of this as we can get. Need to wait for a little bit more gold. I'd like to get double amp tome. I can't afford it though. The Ruby's fine. Decent. Spent all of our gold. I'm happy. We got R ready, blue smite. R is not level 2. Right now it's 95-second cooldown with all of our ability haste and ultimate hunter. Next level will be 75, then 54. It gets super low. Lower than a minute. You can use it literally every single fight once it's maxed. Looks like they didn't start dragging. That means Vi wanted to reset for items, or they didn't know where I was. Very well, they may not have known I was here. Or at least Vi didn't, to where they didn't want to start dragging. Because if you start dragging, or if you're on an enemy's turret, it's easy for Fiddle to pop over. Whenever you're going to be in a like single location, stagnant, just taking something over a long period of time, it's ideal for Fiddle to channel his R on you. If he doesn't know which way you're going to move at any given point, it's hard for Fiddle to R because it takes so long to channel that he'll miss it, and then he has to wait for it to come back up. We laid our effigy for the gank. Doesn't seem to be warded. This is huge. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. That was a wombo combo. That's sick, man. Amumu R, MFR, Fiddle R. Seems balanced. I think that's GG's well played right there. We still have Zhonya's too. And whenever you hit somebody or R onto them when they couldn't see you prior, it fears them. So our R was a four-man fear. Every single one of them got feared from our R. If someone's already been feared recently and you hit them with a Q, instead of doing, let's say, 12% of their current health damage, is 24%. So your Q does double damage if you feared them recently. So our Q did double damage there. We get the 4-man fear. We get the 4-man R, 4-man drain. Whole lot of damage output. That's brutal. That's really, really unfortunate. We'll play double Herald, try to end the game early. Fiddle does play well late game. There's no reason not to take Heralds though if it's the right play. They can't contest because we're ahead. And it's the only real neutral objective that's going to be up soon. Jinx R did about it did a little over 740 damage there. I'm pretty sure that's how much health the dragon have. So I did smite a little late, but it wasn't by much. She's not even that fed. We're gonna Q EW. Gonna Zhonya's that. I don't feel like getting CC'd. Blue smite W. Trying to stagger my CC to keep this guy. We'll get him with silence and W. Your E also slows them. It's a silence and a slow. The enemies in the center are silenced. Everyone's slowed that gets hit though. You're almost always going to be hitting it with the center just on how it's used. To where there's going to be very few situations where they're slowed and not silenced. They would have to like flash sideways or dash sideways, which they're always going to be trying to get away from you. Boulder style rather than trying to dodge a Lux snare by going horizontal. We're sitting on 10 stack Mej potentially here. I'll go for Rocket Belt because that's what you guys should do, but me personally, I would go for Mej at this point because 10 stack Mej is pretty sick. The extra movement speed it gives is really nice. If you're not comfortable with Mej, there's no shame in keeping it 10 stack Dark Seal. This item gives incredible value. It's giving me 55 AP total right now with 40 HP. 55 AP is nearly a needlessly large rod, and if you count the HP it gives, it's full stack Dark Seal is a 1250 gold item when it only costs 350. It's really nuts. QEW, down he goes. Trying to organize my items while he's goofing around. I think Vel'Koz is trying to lose at this point. He's trying to make the game end. We camped him pretty hard. I don't really need red buff. We can just like fight on turrets with our Zhonya's especially. Fiddle is an insane turret diver at level 6. And then once he gets Zhonya's, even more so. Your effigy can block certain skill shots. It's especially good against Nunu W or like a Jinx R. Big R, Rockabout, QEW. Yeah. R, Rockabout, QEW, win the game. If you really need to stagger your CC, it's okay to not even start your W until they're completely out of the fear. Because you'll walk on top of them and then riders are coming out of fear, you E then W. I'm overstacking my E and my Q a little bit. Fear lasts for about a second and 3/4 right now. And my silence lasts for a second and a quarter. And I'm Eing them when there's about almost like a half a second of my fear left. There's always going to be a little bit of overlap unless you want to risk them flashing or dashing as they come out of your fear to dodge your E. So there should be some wasted overlap. It's player skill and player game knowledge that will determine how thick that overlap is, thus how much CC you are wasting. Ideally, the overlap is as thin as possible to where you're almost getting a combined total at this point of 3 seconds of CC out of Fiddle. I'm gonna an R, Rockabout. Can't quite catch her. Got her flash though. That's worth. Our R's less. It's a 1 minute cooldown right now, so Flash 5 minutes or 1 minute. We'll take it. Garen's enormous. They don't have a very good comp for killing him. They would need a Fed Vel'Koz and a Fed Jinx. Vel'Koz is basically given up at this point. Look at that. Oh my goodness, almost died. Should have laid an effigy out in front to block. Can also use effigies to block Morgana snares. Or Amumu Qs, that type of stuff. It's pretty good for that. Ours is about to be up, but we're almost dead, so instead we'll go for Dragon. At this point, Vel'Koz is giving up completely. We're in Smurf queue right now, so a lot of people have bad attitudes when they're losing. They'll give up and try to lose on purpose. As he was playing fine, and now he's a lot of the times just kind of dying on purpose. Fiddle's pretty good at tanking dragons and barons. You can out heal how much damage they're doing to you. It's pretty sweet. Garen might want to reset to spend his gold, otherwise he should be pushing bot and I can follow it up with R. Fiddle R is usually used defensively, like the enemies are doing something and you're punishing it, rather than they're not doing anything and then you punish them. You need them to be committed to something before you go in, otherwise they can walk away while you're channeling it. And you pretty much always are from a bush or out of vision, like behind a wall. Because if they see you channeling it, they just walk away. It's best to use once they used all their speed ups and stuff and dashes jumping on your teammates, and then bam, you come in. It was a setup Chris Hansen style. Yeah, that wasn't a very good R on my part. In a perfect world, you're hitting more than one person. Wow, he's really fast. I would like to end here. Might as well. We're all pretty fed. Even the Amumu. Hey, sick. That was a great Seraphine R. And that's the power of Fiddlesticks, guys. With the right build, the right item rush, you can hit your power spikes one after the other and consistently before the enemies. Because once again, Hourglass is only 2,600 gold. It gives ability haste, gives AP, armor, and the active, which is extremely useful on Fiddle. And we're really only paying less than 2,000 for the Zanya since we have the free stopwatch. So it's super nuts. It's 2,000 gold first item rush. Let's look at the graphs. Looking at damage all enemy champions, we are top 3 in the game. Decent for Fiddlesticks. At damage taken, we had taken upper middle of the pack. For self-mitigated, kind of upper middle of the pack again. And for runes, super high value. I really love this 1950 gold item rush, 1,950. Most champions item rush is around 3,200 gold, so you're getting it for a third the price, or I should say you're saving 30%. Very nice. If you guys enjoyed this Fiddlesticks jungle gameplay commentary guide, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to hack the algorithm. My name is King Sticks. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.